is Monday, March 22. Welcome to CGN News. Prime Minister of Trinidad, Dr. Keith Rowley, is standing by his statements on inequitable COVID-19 vaccine distributions, which he called vaccine apartheid. Despite the opposition claiming that the Prime Minister made the discussion one on race, Dr. Rowley said that's not what the phrase means at all. He explained that vaccine apartheid was a phrase used by reporters in England about the vaccine's availability to rich white countries of the North and none to small countries elsewhere in the world. He added that TNT's issue isn't unique. Despite the first vaccine being certified in December, many are still without. Rowley said he still isn't sure when or how many doses the island will get from COVAX. Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown has asked U.S. President Joseph Biden to allot some of the AstraZeneca vaccines his government is providing to Canada and Mexico to CARICOM. The U.S. announced Thursday that 4 million doses of the vaccine will be given to America's two closest neighbors. In the letter to Biden, Brown said the Caribbean is among the worst affected by the pandemic. He asked Biden to include the region in his plan to make the U.S. safer by contributing to the safety of its neighbors. Brown advised CARICOM of his letter to the U.S. President, urging them to write in a similar vein. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced 3 weekends of lockdowns among new COVID containment measures for Jamaica. The weekend lockdowns will run from noon on Saturdays to Mondays at 5 a.m. until April 12. Speaking at a Jamaica House press conference on Sunday, Holness said there will also be expanded curfews for the Easter season. Holness says the government has fast-tracked legislation which will lead to greater penalties for COVID-19 breaches. The BBC has corrected an article that linked a variant of COVID-19 to Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua diplomat Ronald Sanders told the St. Kitts and Nevis Observer that the correction was not made despite British officials walking back claims of a new Antigua variant. Sanders accused the BBC of damaging the country's tourism industry. The BBC's website on Thursday morning said the story has now been updated to reflect new information on UK variants. Observer reached out to the BBC press office but has not yet received a response. A prisoner who escaped police custody, quote, bawled like a baby and wet himself, end quote, when he was cornered by law enforcers, a police source confirmed to the Jamaica Observer. Ricardo Kaka Richards, 31, was captured after he had been on the run for a week following his escape while being treated at a medical facility in St. Andrew on March 12. Richards reportedly grabbed a gun from one of the policemen as soon as his handcuffs were unlocked to allow a doctor to treat him. He shot and wounded the other cop as he tried to intervene. Richards had been in custody and awaiting trial for murder, illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, and shooting with intent. The policeman's gun has not yet been recovered. Overseas now, a state of emergency has been declared in Miami Beach over concerns large crowds gathering for spring break pose a coronavirus risk. An 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew will remain in effect until at least April 12, and businesses in the busy South Beach must close. Spring break is a holiday period for schools and attracts thousands of students to Florida. Officials had warned tourists to vacation responsibly or be arrested prior to the holiday period, and a countrywide midnight curfew was already in place. But the Miami Beach area was thronged with revelers over the weekend, and many did not appear to be wearing masks or socially distancing. Protesters in Bristol, England attacked police after thousands of people turned up to a demonstration that officers had, quote, strongly advised against attending, end quote. Officers suffered broken bones and police vans were set alight as angry scenes unfolded in Bristol city centre. Crowds had gathered for the Kill the Bill demonstration in opposition to the police and crime bill that would give police increased powers to stop protests. Demonstrators scaled a police station, threw fireworks into the crowd, and daubed graffiti on the walls. Police said perpetrators would be identified and brought to justice. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has described as tyrants state governors and mayors who have imposed lockdowns to contain the coronavirus outbreak. Addressing supporters at his birthday celebration in Brasilia, he said his government has done all it could and it was now time to reopen the economy. Last week, the country's leading health institute warned of a collapse of Brazil's health service. Bolsonaro, who was 66 on Sunday, has opposed quarantine measures, saying that the damage to the economy would be worse than the effects of the virus itself. Earlier this month, the president told Brazilians to, quote, stop whining, end quote, about the pandemic. The leading opposition presidential candidate in Republic of Congo's election died on Sunday, a day after the country went to the polls. Guy Colelas was hospitalized on the eve of the elections and died of COVID-19 as he was being taken to France for treatment, his campaign director told AFP news agency on Monday. Colelas skipped his final campaign event on Friday after telling some reporters a day earlier that he feared he had malaria. Colelas was seen as the main rival to Nguesso, who has led the Central African country for a total of 36 years. And finally, former U.S. President Donald Trump will soon return to social media, quote, with his own platform, end quote, his advisor Jason Miller told Fox News. He said the platform will be the, quote, hottest ticket in social media, end quote, and would completely redefine the game. Trump was suspended from Twitter and Facebook after January's deadly riots at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. The attack on January 6 by Trump supporters saw 5 people, including a police officer, killed and shook the foundations of American democracy. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.